Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live session, live streaming session by Malayali Association of Ottawa. Today we have a couple of special people among us. They are superhuman beings, but they live among us. We have Celine, who's hosting today. Celine, welcome to the show, and please take control.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Celine. I'm in grade 12 and I go to Maryville High School. So today I've had the honor of getting to help host a session to talk about a field that has grown a lot of interest lately with young adults and students. So to help me talk about that, Haya is here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Haya. I'm in grade 11 and I go to All Saints Catholic High School. Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, I like stuff.
So Haya is um, very, very, very interested in a whiz at robotics. So Haya, do you want to tell us how you got into robotics and coding?
Yeah. So it all started for me when I was like a little less than 9 years old. Um, my dad gave me a book called Python for Kids, which introduced me to Python programming. It was just written in a way that was really easy to understand, and it definitely sparked my interest. I used to like sit down with my dad and like we would read it together and do the little exercises. But like a programming language isn't very useful until you apply it. So I started using my Python skills to solve math problems, which is very basic way to start off. It led me to a site called Project Euler, which has a lot of challenging problems, which I used programming to solve. And it gets quite addictive to try and, master all of them. There's a lot to try out. So from there, I wanted to try combining software with hardware. So I started playing around with the Raspberry Pi, which is a little microcontroller. I can control circuits and things, and I would build simple DIY projects and mostly just use Python for all of this. Yeah. So for me it was just like a fun little thing that I did. Yeah.
So now that you when did you say you started again?
And I was like about 8 or 9.
8 or 9. So
Yeah.
now
So
you're
it's been a while.
yeah.
And
So
I'm 16,
yeah.
turning 17 in a few months. Yeah.
So
So almost half my life, about half my life so far.
what kept that interest for that long? Because I know like when parents like send their kids or like try to get their kids into different activities, unless they're really passionate about it, they usually like quit after
hmm
maybe a year,
Well,
maybe a month or two. So how did you stay with that for?
what helps is I would connect it with whatever I was learning in school. So it was always relevant to me. It wasn't just like a random thing. Like for sometimes I would like one project that I did was I built like a number line program and it would like draw a number line and count negative numbers. This is when I was pretty young. So basic math stuff. And another big part is I would film all of it. So I would turn it into little videos, like little you like when you're younger and you try to have like a YouTube channel. That was me with my projects. I would, have little like funny scenes and that was like my own. I made that for myself. So, yeah, that helped me keep going.
So in school, were there like clubs or like different like I don't know organizations that were there in school or to help you like keep that interest or help
Actually,
grow?
in Ottawa, there's so many opportunities. I'm very fortunate that when I moved to Ottawa, there were so many things to choose from. Actually, the first thing that I did when I moved here was sign up for robotics because I'd heard about it from when I before I moved, but there wasn't opportunities in the old city where I used to live. But Ottawa had a lot of different local teams. There's a community team and there's a couple of school-based teams, all for different age levels and experiences. So even if you're like 9, 10, 11, you can still, or like even 7, you can start learning. So yeah, I signed up with First Robotics Canada, and yeah, I just found like a local team and I started showing up to, weekly sessions, and then it took up the entire year. You have your pre-build season, and then we started building the robot, and it became this big part of my life. So, yeah.
I know. Well, you moved to Ottawa, right? So I know I can understand.
Yes, about a year ago.
Yeah, sometimes like joining a new club or joining something can be like difficult or like a little scary.
Yeah.
So, what would you tell
Yeah.
some kids like who want to join robotics but are a little nervous? What would you tell them that helped you?
Hmm. What I would say is, well, the fact that you're even joining is great because now you've already have something in common with the people that you're surrounded by. You're both interested in robotics. So that's already a starting point. And it's so easy to start talking about that, and then slowly as you're progressing and you're both like everyone in the club is going through the same experience. So you naturally kind of bond over that. And as well as just building the robots, there's also a lot of um, community involvement, uh, being part of our robotics teams, because we have to fundraise for our money and we want to be present in the community, not just build a robot and compete. There's a lot more to it. So there's a lot of events like that where you can volunteer and help out. And through that, you can also um, like bond with other people. So yeah.
Um, okay, for me personally, I am a complete beginner to robotics. I really don't know
Yeah.
about robotics. I think I tried when I was younger. I tried coding. Wasn't very good at it, but like I didn't really know kind of where to start or like where to improve. Like
Mhm.
there was a club at school, but there wasn't much to go off of. So like what would you tell
Right.
some kids who are like who want to do robotics but they don't know where to start? Is there like something online or is there like I don't know, some sort of like
What I would say is maybe if you're like a complete beginner, like you don't know anything about coding whatsoever, first start off just learning a language. You don't have to skip to a physical to making a physical project. If you're a person that's motivated by seeing like a physical thing and seeing your progress in real life, like a tangible success, then yeah, you can start with hardware. But if you like really want to start from, from the very beginning and progress, then just look up books online and try and find there's a lot of YouTube tutorials that can get you started, a lot of free courses. If you just like look it up and like for example, like Python for Kids free PDF, you'll find it and you can follow along. It shows you how to install it, how to set it up, and yeah, it really helps you get started. If you're a little bit older, there is a high school program called Hack Club, which is a worldwide, it's actually, they're a nonprofit. They're a worldwide community of teens with a common passion, which is tech. And so Hack Club offers a lot of free opportunities for specifically high schoolers. It's targeted for high schoolers. So you don't feel the competition of, competing with maybe university students or someone who's it's their goal is to create a safe place for teens to explore tech and feel welcome in that space. So yeah, you get to meet a lot of people with similar interests and they provide free programs for you to learn hardware and software. So yeah, you can sign up if you look them up.
all right, perfect. Earlier you mentioned you said you joined a team at school. So
I joined a community-based team. Yeah.
mm, sorry. So
Yeah. No, it's okay.
what how would you like describe the team? Like what does everybody do on the team? Is there like different parts or
Yeah, yeah, of
we're just
course.
building the robot?
So like I said, the team is very multifaceted. You don't Even if you don't know software, you can still be involved in robotics. So there's three sub teams when it comes to your robotics team. You have software, hardware, and business. These are the three things that go into having your robot being able to compete, being present in the community. So the most obvious teams are hardware and software. Software will work on, coding the robot and programming it, getting it, programming all of the different mechanisms, and hardware will make those mechanisms. They will build the robot from scratch. That's something that you do every year. And then finally, the team that's like not as obvious as business. What most people don't realize is robotics, we're, as a community team at least, we rely very heavily on the community support. So a lot of the time we have to look for sponsors, apply for different ways to get the community's attention and support. So as being part of business team, you might, reach out to different companies, local stores or organizations. And also, when you compete in robotics competitions, you can win awards for your community involvement, not just your robot. So if your team is very involved in the community, you have a chance to win some pretty cool awards. So business team helps apply for those kind of things. So if you're interested in that, then you can still be part of robotics and still get to experience all these cool things. And the best part is you don't have to stick to one. If you feel like trying business 1 year, seeing maybe how software does things or seeing maybe how hardware does things, but you mainly want to stay in business because it's like a safe option, then you can do that. You can, scope it out, and then maybe next year you can give it a try. Yeah, and it's a completely safe place to do that. It's Everyone's there just to have a good time. The competition is a bonus, but yeah, it's just a great place to learn things.
So to join the team, you don't have to necessarily know much about robotics. Like you can help with other stuff, other parts of
Yes, yeah.
just do like the hardware software part.
Yeah, yeah. Like when I joined, I had never done like big robotic stuff. I've only ever done small scale projects, and that was when I was really young. And since then I had, transitioned to only doing software. So I was like, I haven't done this in a really long time and I'm going to feel behind. And I'm still learning. I'm still like, I'm not a pro. So, yeah.
You mentioned that you and like the team goes to like go to competitions. Like
Mhm.
what are the competitions and like what are they like? Are they like really competitive or are they just like for fun or
Yeah, so I'll explain for how you can work your way up to some pretty big events. So you start off with your local event competitions that'll be like within the province. Currently there's none in Ottawa, so you would have to maybe pay to go to and attend the competition. It's for a couple of days usually, and basically it's a couple of days of robot matches where robots are put in alliances, like teams of three, and they'll compete in themed challenges to try and win as many points as you can. And you kind of try and work your way up to win the entire event. And the more points that you get from all of the events that you win, the higher you rank compared to other teams in the province, in the country, and then in the world. And then, so once you get through your local events, there is a provincial competition, which is the top 100 teams from Canada, I think. No, or Ontario. From Ontario, sorry. Um, so the provincial competition is the top 100 teams from Ontario. There's a lot of teams in Ontario, and Ontario is one of the most competitive robotics locations. So there's a lot of cool teams to scope out and learn from. So once you get through provincials, the next step is worlds. You get invited to fly out. This past year, it was in Houston, and you and your team and your robot get invited to fly out to Houston and compete against robots in the same themed challenges, but this time you get to meet teams from all over the world, and they're all competing for the the top spot. Yeah. But along with competing with your robot, like I mentioned before, there's also the community involvement awards, which they call the impact award. So how much can you have an impact on your community through STEM? So such as like running STEM workshops in your local area or even in your city. How big of an impact can you have? And so teams will compete to try and have the biggest impact in the community. Yeah.
so do you want to give us like an example? Like you said there were like challenges. Are all is every competition like the same challenge or are there different challenges like you go
No,
ahead?
every year is a new theme. So this past year the theme was called Reefscape, where it was like an underwater theme. And usually the best way to think about it is like it's like a sport. It's like watching a sport. You have your teams, you have some certain teams, robots that like compete with each other. And so this year the theme was Reefscape, which is like an ocean underwater theme. And so they build a game around that. So there are like different game pieces that are involved, which you can think of like this year it was similar to like I would compare it to robot basketball, if that makes sense, but like ocean themed. So instead of throwing basketballs, we were collecting PVC pipes, which they called coral in the theme of the challenge that we would have to put on branches. And so yeah, so that was one part of the game. Then there were giant rubber green balls called algae that our robots had to throw into a giant net. And this isn't something that stays the same. So every year it's a new theme, new game pieces, and so you have to develop new mechanisms for your robot so then they can undertake those challenges as efficiently as possible. Yeah. So
So from what it sounds like to me, it seems like you've been to quite a few competitions before, and you know like how most of the competitions work and what it's like there. What would you say you've like taken away from not only like competitions but robotics itself? Like what are some skills you think you've learned
hmm.
help you outside of robotics?
Outside of robotics. Well, I will say that robotics really helped me come out of my shell. So, especially because it's one of the first things I did coming when I came to Ottawa. I didn't know a lot of people, and even within my own school, STEM isn't very um highly promoted, or there like aren't lots of opportunities, at least at my high school. So I had to look outwards, not just within my own school. And so it helped me find um my own little group of friends who have similar interests to me. And what else did robotics give me? It gave me a chance to try and apply my technical skills in a different setting, to a much larger scale as well, because everyone is mostly used to, whatever you see in your home, but like no one has a 120-pound robot in their living room. So that's a pretty cool experience to have as well.
Mhm. Are there any skills that like specifically helped you in the classroom or like in school? Did anything help you specifically?
I will say that a lot of the math and physics and maybe if you take in computer engineering in school, then you'll see that applied in the hardware and software side of things. And then also if you've taken like a marketing class or organized any sort of event for your school, it's you apply similar skills in if you're in a business team for robotics. Yeah.
Um, so you mentioned how at your school there weren't many like resources like when it came to like robotics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I know like in my school, robotics is a really big thing at my school, but
Hmm.
women in robotics or girls in robotics aren't as common as like when you compare the ratio of girls to boys on the
Yeah.
team, it's very very different. I know there's
Hmm.
a lot of girls who are interested, but they're like kind of scared to like come in. So like would do you want to just talk about like how like women in robotics or like what you would say to like people who want to go but like are a little scared because it's mainly like dominated by boys in school, like not just like in like the real world but like
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
school, like boys I know.
What I will say is, you don't really have to. Sorry, let me think about this for a second. So it can feel daunting a lot of the time when you look in the room and there's like not everyone looks like you. But I find that my joy comes from what I'm doing. And, the people who I'm surrounded with are a bonus. So if I try to get my friends involved and I try to spread the word to as many people as I know, especially girls, but If that's not there, I like personally, I just try to focus on what I can, learn from the opportunity around me. And yeah, yeah. If you're scared, honestly, don't be. Everyone's pretty supportive, and there's a lot of different resources. You can try and build your skills on your own if you want, and then, try and explore. But yeah, and like I said before, there's Hack Club, and there's a lot of opportunities there that are also just purely for girls. They have a all girls program that specifically helps broaden opportunities for girls who want to explore STEM, but kind of feel the competition coming from everywhere else. There's also another organization that's called Girls Who Code that are specifically for girls who want to code. And so they run these summer courses and also during the year as well, where it's run by women, and the programs are just for girls. So yeah, in those kind of settings, you'll see a lot of women. Yeah.
So, I know a couple of my friends, they're very much into robotics, and a word that like comes up frequently is hackathon. So, for some people who don't
Ooh.
know, for like the people who are watching and listening who don't know what a hackathon is, do you want to just like describe it? Like, what's it like what's happening there, or like what is it in general?
Yeah. Yeah. So hackathons are an incredible experience. It's this, amazing collaborative environment where you're pushed to create something in a short amount of time, and you meet a lot of incredible people doing it. There's free food, there's games, and overall it's just a learning experience, to be on the participant side and the organizer side. Uh yeah, it's just a great chance to try out new things. There's not a lot to lose, and it's just a fun experience. Yeah. To
So,
expand your STEM skills, you get to try something maybe that you've never thought about often, but you've always wanted to try. This is a safe space to do it. It's not an assignment or anything. Yeah.
so what do you do at like hackathons? Do you like is there something specifically supposed to do, or does everyone just like sit there and code, or is there like a specific task?
So usually, um, sometimes hackathons will have themes with a certain goal in mind. So, for example, a game jam is a type of hackathon where you make a game for whatever time period you're given. And it's open to beginners as well a lot of the time, which is why a lot of hackathons will have workshops to help people who don't know how to code or maybe don't know how to do game development, say for a game jam, and help them get started with something. And a lot of the times there will be mentors and volunteers to help out throughout the weekend or you know throughout throughout the event to help you keep going. Then you just kind of lock in. Sometimes there's a lot of sleepless nights, some energy drinks involved, but it's all in good fun, and you're all working towards a project that you'll be proud of, that you'll get to present the next day, and maybe win a prize, maybe see some other cool projects. And yeah, there's games in between, food. Yeah.
So I heard from someone that you're planning on doing one yourself. So do you want to like maybe explain to
Yes.
us like
Quick
how
plug.
what
Yeah. So
who could
this end of September, I and about seven other people are organizing what we're hoping will be Ottawa's biggest high school hackathon.
wow.
It's called Daydream Ottawa, and it's a game jam. So you'll have about 24 hours to make a game. You'll work in, teams of three or less, but it's always fun to work with new people. So I highly recommend finding someone, even if you don't know anyone else there. People are very friendly, and we can always help you find your team as well. Yeah, so you'll have 24 hours. It's open to beginners. We'll have workshops to help you get started. And we'll also have mentors. And there's going to be games and food and free t shirts and snacks. And yeah, you should sign up. So you don't have anything to lose. It's a weekend of free fun. It's September 27th to 28th, and you can sign up at daydream.hackclub.com/Ottawa. But we can put a link somewhere where people can find it.
Do you have to have like a specific skill set, or do you have to know about robotics, or can anyone join?
For since it's a game jam, I mean, if there's two parts to it. You could be making the art for the game, or you could be coding it, or you could do both. So if you're someone that is usually into art, but you maybe want to try coding things, this is a safe space to do it because you can code your game and draw the art for it. Or you could work in a team, so then you're supported for different parts of your game. Yeah.
So is it like an overnight thing? Like you said, the 27 to 28. So
Yes, it is. It is overnight.
so we do energy drinks throughout the entire night.
Yes. Optional.
Is there anything else you want to tell everybody about robotics or any other information you want to get out there
What
for?
I will say about STEM opportunities is a lot of the times you don't need to pay anything. Everything, like you have the internet nowadays, so you can look up literally anything. So use that to your advantage. You can find a lot of resources online. Yeah.
All right. That's all my questions. But thank you so much for joining us today and help being a role model and providing kids and even providing information for parents to help immerse their kids into robotics because robotics is becoming a really big thing now and like in the future and recently
Mhm.
it's becoming big. So thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah, of course.
for spreading all the information for us.
Yeah,
Amazing. Thank
of
you very
course.
much, girls. So we are so proud of you. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Hopefully, we can have one more stream. I'm pretty sure many people gonna ask so many questions. They're new to our live stream sessions, so we can hope for more questions. And I appreciate Association Malayali Association of Ottawa. Appreciate your efforts, and we're always here to support your creativity, your talents every time. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And don't
Thank
forget,
you for having
നമ്മുടെ
me.
മലയാളി
Yeah.
അസോസിയേഷന്റെ ഓണം സെപ്റ്റംബർ 13-നാണ്. എല്ലാവരും വരണം. ഇനിയും രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യാൻ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർ ഐ തിങ്ക് ഒരു ടിക്കറ്റ്സ് കഴിഞ്ഞെന്നാണ് തോന്നുന്നത്. ഇഫ് യു ക്യാൻ. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.